Hello students, this is Vishan sir. Today is my 13th video, 13. So in this video we will see today the assumptions of the law of demand. In the previous video we have seen what are the different determinants of demand and the starting of law of demand. Yes, so the law of demand says that there is a inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, and the law of demand also known as the law of first purchase, and the law of demand given by the great neoclassical economist Dr. Alfred Marshall from his book Principles of Economics, published in year 1890. According to him, there is a inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, and other things remain constant. Okay, but this law is based upon certain assumptions. The law of demand based upon certain assumptions. So today in this video we will see what are the different assumptions of the law of demand. Okay, let us see one by one, because without assumption the law is not valid. If the author doesn't assume some assumption, the law is not valid. Okay, so the following points are some assumption of the law of demand. Okay, so first we will see one by one. Constant level of income. It means there is no change in income of individual. Constant means no change. Constant means unchanged. Okay, so there is no change in income of individual. Why? Because if the income of individual changes, so the individual will demand more even at high price. Yes, so law says that there is a inverse between price and quantity demanded. So income of the individual should be remain constant. Yes, the law of demand is only valid when there is no change in income of individual. Yes, because people may demand more even at high price when the income of the person is high, and vice versa. Yes, so because of income demand changes, so it should not be like that. Demand only may be changed by change in price. This is the law. But here if the demand change by income of the people, then it is not valid. So the author assumed that there should be constant income of the individual. There should be no change in income of the individual. Individual's income remain constant. Yes, do you remember the first statement of the law of demand? It is written already, other things remain constant. So whatever Marshall has assumed, or whatever Marshall has stated, that other things remain constant. So in the other things, the things are nothing but income, size of population, price of substitute, price of complementary. Yes, consumers expectation, taste, habit, preference, taxation policy, all these comes under other thing remain constant. That's why in the beginning of the law, Marshall already assumed that other thing remain constant, means there should be no change in these things. Which things? Income of the individual, size of population, taste, habit, preference, yes, price of substitute, price of complementary, Yes, government taxation policy should remain constant. All these assumptions are already there, then only the law is valid. Okay student, so the first assumption is over. Okay. Second, no change in size of population. It means the size of population should be remain constant. Otherwise what happen, if the size of population increases, people automatically, okay, it is assumed that the size of the population remain unchanged. If any change in size of population and composition of population of the country affect the total demand. Yes, in the last video I have given some example of increase in population. Yes, according to census 2001 it was 102.7 crores, and according to census 2011 the population increases from 102 crores to 121 crores. So what is this? So there is an increase in population. So if there is an increase in population, obviously there will be increase in demand. So law is only valid when population is constant. Okay. After that, the third one is there is no change in price of substitute goods, or we can say the price of substitute good remain constant. The price of substitute good remain constant. Now you tell me student, what are the example I have given in the case of substitute goods? The substitute goods are tea and coffee. Yes, so there should be no change in price of substitute goods. Okay, an example of substitute good, tea and coffee. So increase in price of tea will lead to increase the demand for coffee. Yes, so the law is only valid when there is a no change in price of substitute goods. Okay, it is assumed that the price of substitute goods remain constant. Any change in price of substitute goods will affect the demand for the commodity. Yes, so the law is not valid when there is a change in price of substitute goods. Law is only valid when there is no change in price of substitute goods like tea and coffee, CNG and petrol. All these are the example of Pepsi and Coke. Yes, Slice and Maaza, Colgate and Pepsodent. All these goods are substitute goods. Means if the price of one commodity increase, consumer immediately switch to purchase the substitute goods. So it should be remain constant. Yes. The fourth assumption is there is no change in price of complementary goods. It means the price of complementary goods remain constant. Yes. What are the example of complementary goods? What is the meaning of complementary goods? The complementary goods are those goods which is jointly demanded by the consumer to satisfy the want. Yes, for example, car and petrol. Yes, pen and ink. Yes, chalk and duster. Mobile and SIM. Means these commodity you have to purchase jointly. Yes, complementary goods. So the price of complementary goods remain constant, then only the law is valid. Yes, because a change in price of one good will affect the demand for another good. Yes, example we can say if the price of petrol increase, the demand for cars will decrease. Why? Because it is a joint product, it's a joint goods. Okay, next, number 6 assumption is there is no change in taste, habits, preference, fashion, etc. So the law of demand also assume that there is no change in taste of the commodity, habits of the consumer, preference of the consumer, and fashion, etc. All should be remain constant. Why? because any change in the factors will lead change in demand. Okay, full stop. It means let us see the example. If there is a good taste of the commodity, for example pani puri, yes, so a good taste of the commodity will increase the demand. Yes, the modern fashion will increase the demand for the cloth. Yes, the preference of the commodity will increase the demand for the commodity. So all these factors remain constant. Taste, habits, preference, fashion, all these remain constant, because if these factors changes, obviously demand also changes even at high price. Demand increases even at high price, because a good taste of the commodity will increase the demand. So people consume the more commodity even at high price. Yes, so all these factors remain constant. A new fashionable clothes have more demand. Yes, in spite of old clothes, outdated clothes. So people will demand more of new clothes even at high price. So here what happened? Price is more and demand is also more. So it should not happen in this case, because the Marshall says that there should be inverse relationship, price and quantity demanded. So all these factors remain constant. Yes, next, number 7, no change in taxation policy. It means there is no change in government taxation policy. Means the taxation policy of the government remain constant. Okay, the taxation policy of the government remain constant, because if the government increase the tax, it will affect the disposable income of the person. So increase in government tax, reduce the disposable income, and finally there is a change in demand, and vice versa. So government should not increase the tax or decrease the tax. It should be constant according to this law. So this law is only valid when government taxation policy remain constant. Yes, the taxation policy of the government has great impact on demand for various goods and services. Okay, therefore it is assumed that there is no change in government taxation policy. Yes, it is remain constant. So because of all these assumptions, the law is valid. If all these 7 assumptions, you can add 1 or 2 more assumptions. Yes, there is no change in weather condition. There is no change in advertisement intensity, because change in weather also change the demand. For example, we have 3 seasons. Weather means climate means season. For example, summer season. So during the summer season, obviously the demand for cold drinks, demand for ice cream will automatically increase, because people feel some heat during the summer season. So the weather condition, the climatic condition remain constant. So no change in weather condition or climatic condition. Yes, you can also assume there is no change in advertisement intensity. Means the advertisement intensity remain constant, because sometimes a good advertisement will increase the demand for the commodity. Means when the people saw the advertisement on the television, even they don't want to purchase, because of good advertisement on screen, they inspired themselves and they purchase the commodity even at high price. So what is this? Yes, so advertisement intensity should remain constant, weather condition, climatic condition remains constant. Okay, So because of this assumption, we can see the law is valid. Yes, as per the table, the law is valid, because when in the first column the price is given, and in the second column the quantity demanded is given. Price always given in rupees because it is our currency, Indian currency. Yes, and quantity demanded always measured in terms of kg, liters and units because all the food grains measure in terms of kg, like sugar, wheat, rice, all these are measured in terms of kg. Yes, and the milk products, the liquid products measure in terms of liters. Yes, and some fruits are also measured in terms of units, like banana, 1 dozen is equal to 12 units. So you can say demand may be in kg, liters or units. So here in this table it is assumed that the demand is in what? Demand is in kg. So you can observe this table, demand schedule, as price of the commodity decreases from 50 rupees to 40 rupees, from 40 rupees to 30, from 30 to 20 and 20 to 10. Yes, and what is the result on demand? The demand increases from 1 kg to 2 kg, 2 kg to 3 kg, 3 kg to 4, 4 to 5. So according to this table, this schedule, it shows the inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. Okay, you can see, as price of the commodity decreases, it will motivate the consumer to purchase more and more units of the commodity. Okay, so you can see decrease in price will increase the demand. Why? Because Dr. Marshall has assumed this equation. Which one? D is equal to F of P. You remember this equation? D is equal to F of P. So demand is a function of price. Okay, demand is a function of price. So there is a inverse between price and quantity demanded. According to this schedule, you can draw the diagram. It's a downward sloping demand curve. Yes, in the previous video I have quickly I have taught you, but in this lecture we'll see in detail. So it is observed that when the price of the commodity decreases, its demand increases. So you can see in the diagram. Okay, so you can see a downward sloping demand curve when the price is 50. So in the first price is 50, you can see here, and then when the price decrease from 50 to 40, it is here. Yes, the 30 it is here, in the fourth. Okay student, when you join this point, you will get a downward sloping demand curve. Yes, from left to right. Demand is a downward sloping from left to right. Okay. but this law also having some exceptionals. Yes, now that much you can read in your textbook. All these are explanation, and explanation is quite similar as whatever explanation is there in the table. Okay student, in the next we can see one small exercise given in your textbook. Try this. Draw the demand curve from the following demand schedule. See, the table is given. First we have to observe this table before going to learn the exceptional law of demand. Let us quickly do this. Yes, in the first column the price of apple given. Yes, and in the second column the demand for apple given in kg. Yes, when the price of the apple, 1 kg apple is 40 rupees, demand is 5 kg. Yes, when the price of the apple increases from 40 to 50, its demand decreases from 5 kg to 4 kg, and so on and so forth. Yes, so price of the commodity in this case increases from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and 70 to 80. And because of increase in price, demand decreases from 5 kg to 4 kg. You can see 5 kg to 4 kg, 4 kg to 3 kg, 3 to 1. Yes, 3 to 2 kg, and 2 kg to 1 kg. So how you will draw the diagram? In the y-axis you should measure the price of the commodity in rupees, and on the x-axis there is a quantity demanded. Yes, in the price column the highest number is 80, so you have to start with the 0. On vertical line you should start with the zeros, and in every, and the minimum, which one is minimum is the 40. So you can take 1 centimeter is equal to 10 rupees. So you can start from 10, then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80, because the highest price is till 80 rupees. Yes, and on the x-axis, how much is the highest demand? 5. So start with the 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's moved like that towards x-axis, and after that start measuring. Yes, at 40 rupees demand is 5 kg, at 50 rupees demand is 4 kg, at 60 rupees demand is 3 kg, at 70 rupees demand is 2 kg, at 80 rupees demand is 1 kg. So when you join the points like this, when you join these points you will get a downward sloping demand curve, and this will be the demand curve. Yes, I hope you got this. Okay student, so in today's video we have seen the law of demand with the assumptions. Yes, prepare it very well students. Make a notebook and watch my video, listen the words carefully, and you just take you can also use the textbook reference. I have already sent e-textbook on everybody class division group. Yes, you just follow it. Okay, because the exceptional law of demand will take more time to explain. That's why I stop here in this video. Okay student, keep study, stay at home. Thank you.